Welcome to SolidCAM Professor. I'm Sydney, your SolidCAM Professor, with one of many videos available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In this recording, we'll show the improvements that we've done in engraving. In this part that we have on our screen, I'd like to do some engraving on this surface over here, which you'll note is a 3D surface. And I'd also like to have engraving done on this surface here as well. Note above this surface there is no text written yet, while over this there is text written, and we'll talk about that in a few moments. Let's first start by doing some engraving on this surface over here. We'll go into our option of engraving, and as you can see here we have either 2D engraving or 3D engraving. We'll choose the option now for 2D engraving. Let's choose our geometry. When we create our geometry, you'll note that we do not have text above this area over here. But what we can do now is we do not have to write the text beforehand. We have the option of adding text directly within SolidCAM itself. We'll start by going to Edit Text, and a dialog box opens up over here in front of us. We can choose our font that we want to use with the different size that we need, whatever font we decide we want to use. And to create the text, all we have to do is click on text, as shown over here, and just open up a box over here and start writing. I'm going to write the word SolidCAM and accept it. At this point, we can now choose preview just to see exactly what's going to happen. As we see, we have SolidCAM written in our part, but we'd like to now place it in a specific area. So let's go back to resume, and we have the option of reference point. Now, we can either write in the reference point according to a dimension that we want to know from our home position, or we can also do pick point by clicking on pick point, pick a specific point. In just this particular case, I'll just click on the surface over here, and I'll accept that. Now let's take a look at our text. We have our text over there, but I'd like to actually have it now go 90 degrees towards the top. So we can go back over here and we can actually now turn it on a specific angle. Let's have it at 90 degrees, and let's check preview now. You'll note now it's going up towards the top. We'll accept this, and as you can see, the geometry was created for that text without writing in the text over here. Let's accept this, and let's look at the rest of the options now that we have in engraving. By the way, the geometry just created in text of this text now can also be done as in a profile operation. Let's go now into tool, and we'll choose our tool. In this particular case, I have an engraving tool already created. And let's go now into our levels. In our levels, we have our upper level, and I'll choose this as my upper level. And my engraving depth, I'll set it at 0.2 millimeters. And we'll go into our technology. Now, in our technology, we can have either go right, left, or center. Let's choose center for a moment. And let's run a simulation on the part. Now, as you can see, the tool, and I'll slow this down so we can see this slowly, will go down, do the text exactly on the surface going down 0.2 millimeters according to the text that was drawn over here. Now, what if I want to actually have it go in the middle over here? Well, for that, we can actually open up our next option of fill area. Now, if I want to fill the area, all I have to do is, let's say, leave it on contour and have it step over every, say, 0.1 millimeters. Let's run our simulation again, and this time run a little quicker. As you can see, it's now filling the area with a contour. But what happens if I want to have one line in the middle of that text? For that, we have now an option of middle line only, and I'll keep my tool down so it doesn't raise as it gets up towards the edges. Let's take a look at the simulation this time. And as you can see, we now have a single line font inside that text itself. Now I'd like to work on the 3D surface over here. So for that, let's do a quick save and copy. And we'll change this now from 2D to 3D engraving. Our geometry as far as the solid goes will be the target itself as shown over here. And as far as our engraving geometry, let's create a new geometry. And this time I'm going to use the text that I have already over the part itself. Note that the text is not on the surface, but just above the surface. It does not have to touch the surface at all. By the way, I can of course use the option of text over here as well. But let me just use this text that I've done over here already. I'll choose multi-chain and choose the option of choosing my text. When I go to my text, you'll note the moment I touch the text, we have the text symbol next to my cursor. I'll click on it, accept it, and now we have a geometry for our text over there. We have the same tool we used before. Our levels, let's just have our upper level at the very top over there. Our lower level is towards the bottom of the part. What's important over here is the engraving depth. Let's have the engraving depth again at 0.2 millimeters. Our technology, we have the same options that we had last time, but this time when we run our simulation, since it's 3D engraving, it goes according to the surface that's below that text itself and engraves 0.2 millimeters into the part. Let's take a look at the part, at what's going to happen now. As you can see, the text is being written into the part itself, no matter what the surface condition is. It follows the surface condition and goes 0.2 millimeters into the surface itself. For more videos on SolidCAM Professor, please go to our website, www.solidcam.com, and look for the tab called SolidCAM Professor. Thank you for joining us on SolidCAM Professor. Take care and have a nice day.